Hi there, my name's James and welcome to R&R, the show where I react to and review some of the latest and greatest music videos. Today, I'm going to be checking out Pull Me Through by Royal Blood. Let's go. Alright, so far, I've got a couple of questions. With Royal Blood being a two-piece band consisting of bass guitar and drums, with the bass guitarist taking on the lead vocals, I think this is maybe the first time that I've heard Royal Blood using an instrument that is not the bass guitar to bring the chordal arrangement and to go with this piano sound, or is it a harpsichord? I'm not quite sure, but it's very much a standout kind of sound. It really piques my interest. It's got that really honky, abrasive, sharp attack sound, which is just really interesting to hear from Royal Blood, being so used to sort of like the big bass guitar riffs. And then you've got the vocals over the top of that. They kind of clash a little bit because, you know, the vocals are quite in the higher range, and so is this piano style sound. But then you've got the drums coming in, really simple but just big rock drums, moving the song along, adding that little bit of something different. On screen, however, we've got something almost reminiscent of what comes to my mind, at least, the opening scenes of a sort of zombie horror movie. You've got these sort of ambiguous characters, but there's this sense of sort of thriller storytelling. You're not quite sure what the guy in the car is doing, if he's in shock, if he's angered by something, if he's scared, what's he scared of, that sort of thing. You've got what I'm assuming might be his wife, you know, causing quite a scene there. And then you've got the sort of neighbor character just staring very ominously. And then you've got the music to accompany it. So that's, and the kind of the theme of the music so far is kind of this harsh, abrasive, but also brooding kind of sound. I'm interested to see where this goes. And there we get that pretty familiar Royal Blood sound of the big, distorted electric bass guitar sound with the big riff coming through. And that's where I think the vocals really sit well. The vocalist for Royal Blood really has quite a high range, or at least that's where he's comfortable singing. And it just contrasts so well with the electric bass guitar sound. And then, of course, you got the big drums just giving that pulsating movement. On screen, however, we do get a bit more of the story. It does kind of feel definitely like our main character, the male character in the car, is absolutely in some sort of distress. The water filling up inside the car has to be a metaphor for something, possibly anxiety or something along those lines. And then we get the introduction of these young male characters coming into the story. I wonder where they're going to fit in to all of this. Ooh, those nice little backing vocal harmonies coming in. Very much hard panned left and right. That was a nice little touch in there. Back to the water below. Lungs will flow like a stone. Sinking to the bottom, gasping up the bottom. Down I go again, heart swinging like a punch bag. Waiting on you to go in. Washing up the soft soap, sleeping on a tightrope. Everything approved, got nothing left to use. Want the truth and you to pull it. Does definitely feel like all of the characters which are outside of the car are kind of tormenting our lead character, the man inside the car. And it's sort of like that torment is what is being represented by the water filling up in the car and flooding him and causing him all of this distress and anxiety. So even though it does kind of have that uneasy sort of thriller horror element to it, it kind of does feel like maybe there is a bit of an underlying message regarding sort of mental health and those sorts of themes.
Tone deaf with a headache for one. Back to the water below, alone as I float like a stone.
An interesting way to end things off there. I do really like when video clips, music videos finish off with some post-credits, a post-credits scene like that one. But as for what you get there, it kind of does fill in some of those gaps that maybe are missed whilst watching through. I did notice that throughout the film clip there were those other characters coming in that where their clothing was wet or their faces were wet. And it was interesting when the female character that has the wet hair, the wet face, the wet clothes comes up and just opens the door. And then of course we end with the credits scene, which I'm guessing is some sort of representation of afterlife or purgatory, something like that. I am curious to know if this is some sort of, again, metaphor for mental health or even a suicide awareness sort of messaging. You know, with the title, with those lyrics, Pull Me Through, and it kind of feels like the idea is that only people who are going through those same sorts of emotions or feelings or mental states are the only ones that have the understanding of how to reach through, pull others through that share them. So overall, I really enjoyed the music video and the sort of the overall messaging throughout the lyrics and whatnot. I would say the song itself is not bad, but it's also not spectacular. It's nothing too impressive or too new or different. You know, there's those few little elements of, you know, using the piano as sort of like the driving force of a lot of the majority of the song, and then only having sort of the big bass guitar elements coming in to enhance the dynamics and lift up the song and add that sort of big beefy texture, which Royal Blood are really good for. But other than that, it's quite a stock standard arrangement. The structure of the song's pretty much a absolute stock standard rock song, and because of that, it's, to me, it doesn't really stand out as a great way of pushing that possible messaging that they're going for. I feel if they did something a little bit more interesting, something a little bit more left of field, maybe that messaging could have been a bit stronger, but because it is just kind of a stock standard slower rock song, the messaging to me kind of gets a bit lost. And especially in the mix, it's a lot of the time, because they are that sort of saturated, slightly distorted vocals, it's kind of hard to get the lyric definition and hard to hear that message a lot of the time as well. But I definitely think the video clip enhances it and sort of pushes that message and takes it to the front a lot better than the song itself. All right, that's all I have for this one. Be sure to let me know if I've missed anything and your thoughts on Pull Me Through by Royal Blood. I'd really like to know if my ideas of its sort of underlying messages are correct, or if there's something else happening there. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, check out some of my other videos, and make sure you use the comment section down below as a space for community discussion. And you'll see me in the next video.